What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Spiral Up. I am your host, Nemo, and in today's episode, we are going to be talking about focus, media consumption, and the Parkinson's law. Now, it's going to be a bit shorter because I kind of want to get straight to the point with this one, but lately, focus has been all over the place. And I've also wondered why that might be. Why is my focus all over the place? And it kind of ties into what I said second, media consumption. I'm consuming so much media that I find myself getting more and more distracted by myself, so my focus isn't as optimal. So what do I mean by that? Say I allot myself an hour to do something. Say I get a notification or I end up, scrolling through Instagram. Next thing you know, that's 15, 20 minutes down the drain and not getting as much work done. Because when I really zoom out and I look at my typical day and I'm like, oh, I have all this time. I want to do this. Realistically, you aren't going to spend all your time completely 100% focused on whatever task is at hand. There are times when you do that, and that's what people call this flow state, and you get a lot done. So I've been wondering if you're able to focus very, very, very well, then you'll be able to achieve anything and everything. Have no distractions, no interruptions, just pure uninterrupted focus, and you'll be able to achieve whatever it is. So how can I create that for myself? Well, if I delete all the media consumption apps off my phone and only use them when I actually need them, then I'm easily getting that barrier lowered for myself. So got rid of Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook. They aren't on my phone. But I do want to bring back Twitter, Instagram, and probably the YouTube Studio app when I allocate the time to do some Twitter engagement or Instagram engagement. So I'll just download it, log in, and use it at that moment. But then apart from that, I don't need to have it on my phone, because it'll just take away my focus. Excuse me. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to try and do this week. I have been, and today was actually a very good example. I got up at 6 a.m., did my miracle morning, and I would have to say it's quite productive, getting up before everybody else is up. You could get a lot done. So I'm going to keep that going, but yeah, focus. I find myself not having as much focus as I want to have. So I'm just going to create as least amount of obstacles to make it super easy for myself to focus. And I suggest that for you too. Media consumption. We all fall into that habit. There's times where I watch a YouTube video and then another YouTube video, or I'm listening to this podcast, watching this, and then I see something in the suggested side box. I click on that, and then I go there, and I'm on this other video, and it's just an end-up spiral, right? But we can control that because that's our own self-trigger. So we have to be conscious of our actions. And now, I know people are like, you just need to focus, hard work 100% all the time. When you're awake, just, focus relentlessly. That is not sustainable, because I've tried it. There's been times where I've planned, even today, I planned out my whole day, hour by hour, but I would like to say maybe my schedule so far has been 50-60% accurate, which is pretty good, but there's so many unforeseens that it's really hard to dedicate and be as focused as one would like. So keeping that in mind, you need to really optimize the 1 to 2, maybe 3 hours of pure focus that you might have. And that's what I've noticed for myself, that I have those 2 to 3 hours of pure focus that I can create for myself, i.e., my miracle morning, which is why I get up at 6 a.m. Getting up at 6 a.m. before everybody else is awake, I legit have 2, potentially 3 hours completely for myself to do whatever it is that I want. And then anything that happens after that, it doesn't matter, because I've already focused on myself and focused on the particular tasks at hand that I wanted to do. So that's when I'm taking the approach of my focus in media consumption. And just not having those apps on my phone is going to do so much wonders. And I don't know why I didn't take them off before. Like, I always felt like maybe I'm missing out on something, right? But I'm not. I should just be focusing on what I want to do and use it as a supplement for what I'm specifically trying to do right now. Because just being a consumer makes it very hard to be a creator. And that's what I'm trying to take into myself. And actually, today, it was quite insightful for myself, because I finally figured out my perfect journaling style, platform, layout that I want to do. And I have these like prompts that I give myself for each of my journal entries that I'm going to be doing every single day. Because I found that having an open-ended journal, brain's all over the place, right? I'm like scattered throughout. But I found these, it's like 30 questions. And throughout 30 days, it'll paint a great picture of my mindset, right? And there's something about putting pen to paper and actually writing it down that's just so magical. But having a specific prompt makes it very easy to fill out a journal entry, because I know that's very hard for people. People are always like, even myself, I was like, I don't even know what I'm going to write about. But I have some like streamline. And today I was writing about fear. And fear is something that is within every single one of us. We all have fear. But it's up to us to be able to conquer our own fear. And I think I finally figured out how to conquer my own fear. It's literally to just not even think about the fear. Because I had this fear about this podcast, about, putting my thoughts out there and being all wrapped up in my head. And I think my worst fear was myself on this particular standard of not meeting it in my own head, when that literally doesn't matter. The fear shouldn't matter. I should be doing this because I want to, because it's fun, because of if you watched my first podcast, my innate feeling of wanting to create a timeline of my life so my future kids would be able to know who I am. So why even have this fear within myself? There were times where I had ideas for a video and I edited it and it was finished, but I didn't upload it because I had this weird fear about it. But now I'm starting to realize, no, fear can be conquered. Fear loves attention, but we can't give it attention. So by disregarding fear, you're able to really hone in and reap the benefits or the rewards or the satisfaction, the dopamine of whatever it is that you want to do, and not let the fear get to you. But it's really hard. Like, it's easier said than done. It's easy to tell someone, just don't think about fear. Yeah, it's true. But I think you have to have some help along the way that can help you overcome the fear. So like my miracle morning. Now, this fear could be a bit different for other people. A lot of people say they're not like a morning person, right? Is that a type of fear? Maybe. Maybe the fear that you're instilling upon yourself, just think of it completely different. You're telling yourself that I am not a morning person. I can't wake up in the morning, right? You're creating this like barrier. You're making it difficult. Maybe you're afraid to wake up in the morning, or you're going to wake up and you don't know what to do. What's the point of waking up? Or you're afraid you're not going to get enough sleep. That's another fear, right? But what if you can slowly tear away this fear by making something available that you truly love only in the morning, or you can only do something in the morning. Make it very easy to do whatever it is, or even the next step is try to go to bed earlier, right? But there's ways you can knock down fear in gradual steps. And for me, I realized I was like, I've been contemplating this podcast, right? The fear of talking, the fear of like actually getting those thoughts out there, getting them, just actually the fear of doing. But I don't know what it was, but I literally was like, I don't care what I think, even though I care what I think. It's a weird thing, but I just had to do it. And once I did, it's just so much easier to keep going. So yeah, I'm probably rambling on quite a bit. Fear. You don't need it. It's all in your head. Okay? Focus. You need pure focus, uninterrupted focus, 2 to 3 hours of focus. You might even only get 1 to 2 hours of focus a day. Like true focus. Side note, a lot of people go to work and they're like working, probably doing like mindless tasks, but think about the times where you're actually working. Actually calculate what that is. It's probably not the full 8 hours, There's usually downtime, but like true work can be can be achieved in much smaller chunks. And if you take that and, have pure focus in whatever it is for a short amount of time, compounded, it'll lead somewhere, right? So the next thing I wanted to talk about, because it's also something that I'm focusing on this week, is Parkinson's law. And if you don't know what Parkinson's law is, it's very simple. It's work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion. Let me say that one more time. Parkinson's law is that work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion. Now, you might be wondering, what does that even mean? Mind you, say if you're back in school, and you have a paper that's due. You know how you call that cramming? Parkinson's law. You have 4 hours to get it done. You're going to get it done in 4 hours because there's a specific deadline. There's a specific time, and you're determined to get that paper done. So you're going to get it done within those 4 hours. If it means not sleeping or whatever, you're going to work that much harder. Your brain's going to be so much hyper focused, and you're going to get it done. Expand that outwards, right? Say you have a project, right? You give yourself 2 weeks. The smart thing to do would be to work on it every single day, little by little by little, right? But with Parkinson's law, you gave yourself 2 weeks, right? So you have so much time to get it done, you're not going to focus on it right away because it's going to fill, that whole expanded time. But most people end up procrastinating. The next thing you know, time slot, you end up cramming and you have to get it done in a small amount of time. So, with Parkinson's law in mind, I want to start really looking at the amount of time I'm giving myself to complete something and really sticking to that time frame. And if I don't stick to it, then I'm going to need to come up with some punishment or some consequence. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Because, say, if I'm like, I need to write, you know, like earlier, I wrote my journal. Say I gave myself 5 minutes, right? And if I didn't finish in 5 minutes, and I don't punish myself and I continue on, then it defeats the whole purpose of the 5 minutes. Or if I give myself an hour to edit something and I don't edit it within an hour, then what's the point? So I'm going to try and use this law in a way that could benefit me on being hyper productive and hyper focused, because it's like I need to get this task done and I've only allotted this amount of time, so I need to be able to complete it by then. Obviously, I'm not going to truly beat myself up for it if I don't achieve it. Like, what if I really have my time frames off? But there's something behind that completion factor and the expanding of the time of the particular task at hand that I think is very fascinating, because it's very true. There's times where I've completed papers and stuff back in the day, or I've did something, or I've done a project, or I did something super fast, and you're just like, yo, I don't even realize that I was able to work so efficiently, right? I was able to work so efficiently to complete that particular task. So, if that's the case, then I need to try and apply this as much as I can, right? Like, why not try and take advantage of something that I know that I already can do? So if I know that I could cram, I could procrastinate, I could get all this stuff done, but I could get it done sooner, and I could probably get more things done if I don't put things off. And if I'm focusing on being focused and providing less media consumption and deleting all the apps and unnecessary social media off of my phone, and creating that optimized workflow state that I can easily achieve on a more consistent basis, then the sky's the limit, right? We're going to continue to spiral up. That's what this is about, right? How can we really optimize our states or gain access to a flow state? You really use the Parkinson's law and just really focus on what we want to do. So that's what I'm like excited for. And I think I could do it. You just have to be kind of strict with yourself. I haven't really came up with a punishment. Maybe it'll be like, I don't know, I have to like pay out $20 or something, like make it like pretty steep. So then it's like, dang, I'm like losing $20 if I'm not, getting this particularly done. I don't know. But then I don't want to like punish myself so much to where I'm like, oh, this is lame. I don't even want to do it, because we'll justify that in our own head, right? So, yeah, it's something that I'm still thinking about, but I'm really liking the whole Parkinson's law, being efficient and focusing. And, yeah. But, now this week, it's great. Journaling every single day with those prompts. Those are great. I actually started truly meditating today. I did 5-minute session this morning, and that was very, very difficult, to be honest. 5 minutes, my mind was like wandering. I was having like random thoughts, and then I would have to like try and recenter myself. But this was just solo, right? So I think I'm going to find some like guided meditation app. I know there's a few out there, but I'm going to see if that makes it a bit easier to meditate because somebody's guiding me. But then I don't know, I've always been skeptical because it's like, how are you going to meditate if somebody's like talking to you, right? But I'm a complete noob at it, so I might as well. So yeah, I think I'm gonna find something. But yeah, working on a video. Hopefully I get that done sometime this week. And I think it's going to be a fun one. I kind of want to do like a commentary, educational, informational type bit, but I want to make it pretty short because I realized like in my YouTube analytics, the average view time of like my videos, but I seem like it's across, like it's very consistent. It's like 2 minutes, right? So it's like I got 2 minutes to really, create, like people will watch a 2-minute video because it's pretty short. It's pretty easily digestible, but I got to make sure I hook them within like the first 5 seconds because everybody has like an attention span of a goldfish now. Or is that 3 seconds? I don't know. 3 to 5 to 7 seconds. I need to catch the viewer's attention, right? So I have this idea that I just need to execute, and I think it'll be a pretty fun video. I think I already have. Do I have the script here written? Let me see. Yeah, I do have the script pretty much written, but I need to make it funny. I need to make it funny because people like to laugh. I gotta make a video short, digestible, informative, funny, maybe, make people feel something, and hopefully, and shoot it very well. I gotta make sure it's top-notch quality, and hopefully people mess with it. But I think it's gonna be pretty fun because, yeah, I'm like talking super vague. You have no idea what I'm talking about, but again, in the show notes, there's a link to my YouTube channel. Subscribe to it because that video will be coming. But yeah, the script is it's pretty good. Pretty sure. Is that 2 minutes? It might be 2 minutes. But what's the recipe for something to make something funny, right? The thing to make something funny is it has to be something that's familiar, relatable, that everyone does, and then I come in completely left field that the person, the viewer, hasn't necessarily heard, that's like pretty obscure or obscene, right? Or funny, right? Because the funniest things are things that are true, that you may not want to say, but they're true. And I'm not saying like something that's like inappropriate or like racist, but like funny is just, it's so true because it's so unexpected and you're just like, oh my God, like I get it, yeah. So that's what I'm working on. So every morning, doing my miracle morning, still been going on my walks. And if you haven't checked out, if you want to go on a walk with me, there's a previous podcast episode that you'll be able to do so. It's just like a fun experiment. Also, the video version is going to be linked down below. But yeah, I need to finish the video, get some stuff. And I think this podcast, I want to make sure it comes out every single Monday. So subscribe if you haven't already. I would greatly appreciate it, but you don't have to. Do what you got to do, You don't want me popping up every Monday, but yeah, that's what I'm working on. I just wanted to just say this out there, get this out and out of my head, and really talk through focus, media consumption, and the whole Parkinson's law, because I think that could bring value to a lot of people. But yeah, thank you guys for listening. Really appreciate it. Share it with someone if you've gotten any insights or gained any insights or learned something. I ramble a lot, but Anyways, you found me, and until next time, peace.